I'm Tyrant MOBA. I'll be playing a round of Total War Arena. This game is still in its alpha stage, but it does look well polished and has solid gameplay. The map we'll be battling on is called Celerum. As you can see, I'm playing as Julius Caesar on the left hand side. Now, Caesar doesn't see much use right now because he is one of the weaker generals and has probably the weakest kit out of them all, especially in melee. His abilities feel very much mismatched and underwhelming. They basically limit him to a ranged and artillery role. Honestly, his melee abilities are shit. Now, I've been playing around with Caesar for a bit, and I've decided that one melee unit and two javelin units are probably the best for me. His melee abilities, as I stated before, are just crap, but you need something to defend your two throwers. Now, most people who do roll Caesar will use 3 artillery units or something like that and hope that the allies defend it, which sometimes happens, sometimes doesn't. I like to get right in the action, and honestly, artillery seems kind of stupidly powerful right now. So I'd rather stay away from it until it's more balanced. For this map, there are 2 hot zones, mainly 2 anyway. One is the top of the map, which I'm heading to, and the other one's in the city. I tend to stay away from the city part because it's too easy to get ambushed and trapped by the enemy. You don't have very good vision or anything like that there, and honestly, most of the time it's a slaughtering ground, so it's best to stay away from there. We'll already engage some of these throwing horse units, which aren't too powerful, but they can cause a bit of damage. Horse units in general are pretty strong, and I'm not sure if they're ever going to be toned down. Melee horsemen can kind of just wreck anything they get thrown at. As you can see, this unit right here gets just annihilated. I was hoping he would run, so the friendly fire is kind of bad on my part. One quick thing to note is that your melee units can throw a couple volleys in for your for their pilums, but you'd probably want to use it on something like spearmen or something of that nature. You've just seen some artillery fly over. A lot of the time, artillery guys will end up destroying your units, probably more often than the enemy will. Friendly fire is pretty bad on this game, and artillery placed improperly and hitting you will annihilate your unit in 1 to 2 shots. They tend to not care if they friendly fire you or anything like that, so it's kind of sad, but whatever. I had really high hopes for this MOBA, but it's hard to put my finger on why it's not as good as I'd hoped. It has everything you kind of would want from it, but I guess the lack of individuality is disheartening. You're never going to go in there and be the sole reason why you won, and a lot of the time it feels like your teammates let you down a lot. It's a very team-based game, and something about being one of 10 people not really making that big of a difference takes away from the game. Now, don't get me wrong, I really like the game and I'll spend a lot of time playing it. It's just a couple little gripes I have with it. I personally think it should be 5 on 5 or something like that, making it a little more personal and lowering the queue times a hell of a lot. The queue times are pretty bad right now, but they should fix that in future patches. As I said, it's an alpha game, so you can't really expect too much. Your general unit doesn't feel that great. It doesn't feel like he's more powerful than any of your other units or anything like that. And it was only recently they told you when your commander died. Only recently they added it in anyway. Basically, you can only differentiate him by the star on the unit card. As you can see, the yellow areas, as far as you can see, and when you spot the enemy, you're doing your team a big favor. These little towers here that I'm just walking away from help you spot further, and a lot of the fighting happens on them. Spotting also gives you pretty big points, so a lot of people will just go horsemen and kind of run around the map trying to figure out where the enemies are so artillery can fire on them. I'm trying to go down there and relieve some of the people from this big bulk of the enemy here, which probably isn't that good of an idea, but it's better than letting them waltz into our base and take it over. As you can see, the slaughtering in the city kind of went poorly for us, and the enemy's just trying to clean up all the rest of the units. We won the top map, but they won through the middle and through the bottom. It's also nice to note that in the tall grass the enemy can't really see you, so I get a couple volleys off before he really realizes that I'm there. It's also hard to keep track of how everything on the map is pretty big, so now I'm coming into this fight relatively fresh because I didn't see much action up at the top there. We wiped out that one horse unit and that's about it. As you can see, I'm blocking the spearmen. Spearmen are pretty strong in this game. He's probably going to annihilate this sword unit. The artillery up top's making me kind of nervous because I know he's going to start firing on me eventually. They kind of just don't care if they annihilate you as long as they hit more of the enemy, I guess. He's trying to flank my sword unit. And I'm just trying to get my archers out of the way. They're not going to get out fast enough though, and they get slaughtered pretty quickly. As you can see, they break way too fast. They can't hold whatsoever, and a lot of the times when they rout, they'll just run into massive amounts of the enemy to go die. Now, I'm pretty sure this artillery guy figures that he can wipe these guys out and doesn't care if he wipes out me. He's probably going to start firing on me pretty soon, which is kind of stupid. They need to make the penalty for friendly fire a lot steeper. Yeah, there we go. He just basically put the seal on all my units. He wiped me out, and he doesn't give a fuck. I can almost guarantee he's also going to take out that fully, well, that fresher unit, just because he can. You'll get a lot of trolls on the game too that just kind of, yeah, see, he fired on him too. It's kind of sad to watch, honestly. I have one javelin unit left, so I'm not going to be in the battle much longer. But I want to get off a few more points. The artillery guy's doing a bit better with his aiming, but the damage is already done. He probably took out 1/4 of my people or something like that. At this point, I'm really just spectating. I can't do anything with only a couple men in the javelin unit. I figured I had that all under control, but the artillery guy just decided to wipe me out. He also wiped out our friend there, which I don't understand, honestly. And after this point, he's not even going to fire on the spear unit anymore, so it's kind of silly. I don't understand some people's actions, but that took me out of the game. We end up winning, but it's still kind of disheartening. Anyway guys, that was a look at Total War Arena. If you'd like to see more, like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Have a good one. Bye.